Guys, young ladies, how you doing? How y'all doing? Good. Good? All right. Let me see where to start. I'm going to introduce my brother in a few, but let me tell you a little bit about myself so that you kind of like know why we're here. Again, my name is Ismael Vargas. We're very good friends with Eddie. Worked for many years here in the town of Cicero. And back then, of course, our role has changed in the town, but we were running the ceasefire program here 2005, 2006. After that, we started getting more and more involved in the community, myself, himself. We work directly working with young people in the community, kind of like help them out, and just out of our testimony, our experience, to be able to just give them a new face as far as, you know, what life has for you. We're not just here, as I'm pretty sure you have heard about Eddie. We don't talk out of our ear, you know, we talk out of the experience, out of the things that we went through when we were young. Being involved in gangs, being locked up, doing all kind of stuff, and God gave us an opportunity, gave us a second chance, a second chance to change our lives, you know. And when I see myself today, the only thing that I can do is just thank God, because, you know, when I see that how I was back then, and to see myself that I'm able to wear a uniform to be able to represent, you know, my community, talking to people, doing activities, events for the people, you know, it's awesome to see that God gave me that opportunity. But of course, I think that definitely the opportunity is always there. It's what do you do with the opportunity that is given to you? And we have a choice to make. We make our choices, you know, and out of those choices, there's consequences. And a lot of times we don't think about consequences, and that's when we fall and we find ourselves in situations where, man, you know, if I would have just, taken a different turn in my life, maybe, you know, my life right now can be different, can be good, you know. But we're all caught up with what's happening out there, you know, with the music. We're caught up with, you know, with it's okay to go ahead and smoke weed, it's okay to drink, it's okay to do all kind of stuff. Guys and females, the same thing, you know, and we don't realize that there's consequences behind all that, man. Well, there's no, you know, there's consequences, and myself, I can speak out of experience, you know, growing up and without a father figure in my life, you know, I made choices, you know, and became a father when I was barely 17 years old, and thank God, you know, that of course throughout my years I was able to get a second chance, and in that second chance that I took, I was able to change my life. And I see my three children, I call my children, they're big already. You know, my son is 28 years old, 27 years old. I have a daughter that is 25, and my little one, she's 22. And they're doing great. They're doing great. Why? Because again, when they see me as a person that went through hard times, rough times out there, but I made a decision to change my life. And so when you see that in someone's life, you know, it's good, because then you can use that testimony that instead of taking it further and see what will happen, you have an opportunity to say, no, I'm not going to take it that further, you know. I'm not going to take that turn, because I know where it's going to lead me. I know what's going to happen, you know. And myself, I caught a huge break, a huge blessing from God, because I was able to, out of being someone who dropped out of school, a person that, you know, that didn't care about nothing but just to be out there and doing my thing, you know, I was able to come back and go back to school and do some education in my life, and kind of like step it up every time in my life, and I am where I am today because of that second opportunity that God gave me, you know. I'm here today with my younger brother, Israel, and he's going to tell you all about himself. I'm waiting for him to speak. Eddie asked me to be here and kind of to share. But I thought about my brother, you know, who has something that happened to his life, and I would like for him to share all that with you guys. But everything that he's going to share, you know, we live that life. You know, we live that position that the community gave us. And, you know, if we would have programs like this that you're sitting in today, and a second chance that the court is giving you today, man, you know, we would have been good, you know. But so you have it good, and you have an opportunity. And the question today from me to you is, what are you going to do with this opportunity? You know, are you willing to go ahead and take that opportunity, or are you just willing to go ahead and just throw it all away because you just want to go ahead and keep following someone's steps, or you just want to do it your way, thinking that it's going to be something good for your life? It's not. I'll tell you this much, it's not. I know the brothers that are here, they got huge testimonies too. I know them personally. You know? So I've been here in this community for the past 17 years, working with young people, working with adults. My life right now, I serve totally to the community, but first and foremost, I serve God. I'm a pastor. I'm an associate pastor. I was a youth pastor for 7 years, and now my wife and I, which we are happily married for 27 years, we talk to young couples, and we speak to them about, you know, how to do the right things in life, you know. So it's a blessing that you are in this setting with the people that are giving you the opportunity to go ahead and just receive today what is in store for you, because it is for you. It's there for you all. I was just talking to a friend of mine today, and he was talking about destiny and about chances and luck. And I was telling him, you know, there's no such a thing as luck, and there's no such a thing as human destiny. There's no such a thing. I truly believe that there is a purpose in your life. Definitely, each one of you have a purpose, and God has something specifically that He wants to give you, and He wants for you to be able to use that in your life. So it doesn't belong to nobody else. It's you. But if you don't take it, it's going to be thrown away. That's it. So there's no such a thing that maybe if I cut a break, you know, a luck. There's no such a thing. I call that blessings. Do you want to take it, or you just want to leave it there? So what is it that you want to do? You know. So we are 3 brothers, and you know, I was even tempted to bring my other brother too, again, so you can see the you know, this trail in our lives of the things that happened. But I'm going to review with my brother Israel. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself and what he went through. And again, a lot of the things that he went through is the same thing that, you know, we went through. I'm the oldest one in the house. But man, you know, today we look at each other and we're like, man, brother, we did it right. We did good at the end, you know. But that was because we had a second chance. This is your second chance. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? So,
thank you. What up? So, second chance, not a lot of people get them. You know what burning bridges are? You burn your bridge.
Build a new one.
Oftentimes when you burn a bridge, you can't rebuild it. Because bridge has to do with engaging with somebody in such a way in which you connect. Having a relation with somebody. But when you break that bridge, when you burn that bridge, you no longer have that. So you take away from your network. Network is that which surrounds you that brings about resources. I have to learn all of this. What is the average age here? How old are you? 14? 12. What are you doing here? 12. I didn't start messing up until I was 17 years of age. How old are you? You're 12? What are they feeding you? Good Lord, peanut butter in that house, that's for sure. It's very important that you understand this right here. Because as long as you know this, you're going to be able to navigate the system. And you're going to hear me talking about navigating the system because it's a system, society is a system, something that is put in place with a whole bunch of mechanisms to work in a certain way that benefits everybody. At this point, there's a glitch in the system. It appears to some people out there, that's who you are, a glitch in the system. And that's why all lights are on you. Like Tupac said, all eyes on me, right? All eyes are on you right now. Everything you do right now, how you walk, how you talk, the light is on you. Any mess up. And that's it. Delete. You're talking about a guy who came to the United States in '83, acclimating myself just like a lot of first generation to the culture here. Ending up in a Latino community where gangs were the norm. I had to hang out with somebody. And I was an ugly kid, so I had no females. So I had to hang out with the guys. Like him, I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have somebody to look up to. What I didn't know is that all I had to do was look for it. I chose to take the easy way out and not look for it. I'm going to look for guidance on the streets with the boys. My dad's not here. My stepdad, he wasn't even that. He introduced us to cocaine at the age of 16. What stepdad does that? He made me take classes so that I could be a good stepdad, because I knew eventually I may be. I didn't want to be what he was. I had to take classes to be able to do that. I remember hanging out with the guys, not knowing where to go. I knew I needed to go to college. I didn't know how to get there. What do I do? Take the bus, Uber? There was no Uber at that time, right? Nobody's taking me. My mom's working. She can't take me. At that time, there weren't programs like this. And the schools were doing nothing to try to acclimate you to the college life. So I did not know. See, what's happening is that we oftentimes make decisions based on information we have available at that time. For example, who likes chocolate? Who likes chocolate? Come on now. You like chocolate? You like chocolate? So why don't you have raise? Where's your manners? Raise your hand. Chocolate? Anybody? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. If I give you chocolate right now, you suck it up. You'll eat that and you'll be like, ooh, that is so good, right? Especially if it has peanuts in there. Right? What you don't know is that the FDA has approved 60 grams of insect parts in chocolate. Yeah. The FDA has approved 60 grams of insect parts in chocolate. That means that all of you have been eating bugs. Check that out. So, now that you know that, some of you may still eat it. Some of you may be like, no. Or even peanut butter. They're allowed to have a maximum of 1 rodent hair. The hair of a mice or rat or something like that is going to be involved in the peanut butter process. That's delicious. I want peanut butter and jelly sandwich right now. How many of you will eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich right now knowing that? Of course. But it isn't about whether you are or you're not. It's about now you have all the information available to yourself. So whether you do it or not, you know you're making the decision based on that.
Are you serious about the chocolate thing?
I'm sorry?
Are you serious about the chocolate thing?
Oh, I'm not lying. Google it. You'll find other kinds of stuff in other foods that the FDA approves, including blueberries. But I say that to say that, so because I don't have all this information, meaning I don't have a male role model, I don't have no guidance in school, all I got is the guys, and they are as lost as I am, my thought process is, let me hang out in the corner with them. Let me do my thing with them. Let me wear my colors. Let me flag. Let me do this. Let me do that. Not looking at what coming down the pipeline. I'm living the day. I'm living right now. And in this blink of a moment, I'm doing a residential burglary. I'm actually going into somebody's apartment and stealing jewelry. I don't come from that type of family. I grew up Catholic. I was an altar boy. I could recite the Mass to you from top to bottom. Yet I come to the United States and I fall under this new system and I'm committing a residential burglary. And I get caught because there was some kids across the street that knew me, that see me going into the apartment, and they told the police. He was a Puerto Rican guy. And so the first time I go to Cook County Jail was the most horrible experience I've ever seen in my life. And it was so bad that later on, when I was fighting another case, I was wanting at times to be found guilty just so that I can make my way to prison, because Cook County was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. So we're talking about being held in small cells with up to 25 people with benches. You can't even put your whole ass in there. You gotta put half ass. You gotta put half cheek to sit down. That's how small it is. And then if you're sleepy, tired, you got all these grimy, stanky, no shower guys around you, and you're trying to lay down, and you got stank a lot over here and stank a lot over here, and it's just not fun at all. Waiting to go to court and all that stuff. I told my mom, bail me out, bail me out. My mom bails me out 3 days after that, and I cannot go back to her because they got a restraining order. Stupid me do the residential burglary in the same building my mom lives. That says a lot about where we at our age. Some of you would be like, oh, well, I'm not going to make that mistake. You're going to get caught. Eventually you're going to get caught. That's the way it is. That's the way the system works. You can't get away. So I go live with my brother, and at that time I was so lost, I'm not trying to hear anything from anybody. I'm not trying to tell anybody, I'm not trying to let anybody tell me what to do. I'm my own man. I'm a street guy. Nobody's going to put rules on me. I don't do rules. And I kick off a fight with him, and I leave. Guess what? In the blink of an eye, I'm homeless. I made that decision. In the blink of an eye, I walk out of the door, and I no longer have a roof over my head. I'm sleeping in the train, on the bus, in stairwells, in December. I didn't know what was going on. It was all like surreal. Something happened that led me to try to find my way. I had said, enough is enough. I gotta stop here. I can't live like this. I can't be living on the streets. I can't be begging friends for food. I'm like one of the guys I like. That's when I started realizing that's what they're doing. Is that what I want to live my life like? And so I go to live with a friend who found me a job, and one night, I remember I had cocaine in my pocket, and I wanted to get rid of it. I said, that's it. I started work already, that's it. So I'm looking for my stepdad to give him what I have. I don't want it no more. And when I get to the corner, two other guys were there. And it just so happened that earlier that day, an opposition gang came by and did a drive-by. Luckily, nobody got killed. But these two guys wanted to take retaliation. Personally, I didn't give a damn about what happened because I was already changing my mindset. But they wanted to retaliate. I had to show them who had the gun. I had to go over there to make sure they got the gun because they would not have gotten it if I wasn't there. And next thing you know, pop! A bullet goes off and hits an opposite gang member on the shoulder, hollow head, out of a blue steel Smith & Wesson 38. And the hollow head tears through your body. And the guy moves to the side and runs into the alley, and then, pa! Another one. This one goes to the back. This one is the killer. This one is the one that drops him. And out of nowhere, without me even thinking about what was going to happen, I'm standing here in an alley, and a few feet away, there's a guy pleading for help, dying. It still didn't set in. It was like a movie. Because I was young, my mind wasn't able to process this stuff, the severity of what was happening. I don't know what to do. What am I doing? I'm running back to where I came from, which is the people I was living with. The other two guys went the other way. They got caught with a gun. I was brought in because my name was mentioned. And next thing you know, I'm sentenced to 35 years for just being there. That means 17 and a half years of my life, I was going to spend it in prison for first-degree murder. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't have to. I facilitated. I was as guilty as they were. I went along with it. I didn't try to stop nobody. I didn't call the police immediately after it happened. It makes me as guilty as anybody else that was in there. Just like when you're hanging in the corner and it's on and we're cool and everything. And we used to throw bottles across the street at each other. 3 go over there, 3 over here. We throw bottles and shit just because we had nothing to do. The dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But it was fun at that time. And imagine one of those bottles flying and hitting a baby. And the baby dies. Yeah, you're not going to go to jail for murder, but you're going to go to jail for manslaughter because you threw the bottle. Oh wait, I didn't mean to hit the baby. I wasn't not throwing it at the baby, but it hit the baby and the baby died, and that was your action. Therefore, you're guilty and you're going to jail. You don't even think like that because we oftentimes don't. We don't think ahead. We're thinking on the moment. And I need you to start thinking 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, 50, a year. What's going to happen? I went to trial and I was sentenced to 35 years, and I go into Pontiac maximum security prison. Back then, it was called Thunderdome. So, see, there are 3 prisons, Stabio, Menard, and Pontiac. Menard was about race, whites against blacks against Latinos. Stabio was about inmates against police, police against inmates. Pontiac, save yourself. Everybody against everybody. When I went in there, and I go into a cell, and they put me in a cell with a guy who out here, I was trying to kill. But in there, we had to ride together. We had to hang out with each other. We had to depend on each other to protect each other's life. Wait, what kind of game is this? What are you talking about? All this time my mom is telling me that this is my enemy, and now I come in here and I gotta bunk up with this guy? What kind of game are we playing? What kind of game are we playing? And you can't say no. Because if you get say no, you get beat up and you get sent to protected custody. Because you're not abiding by rules. Remember, guys, I told you not too long ago, I'm not abiding by any rules, and that's why I left his house. Well, guess what? There's plenty of rules in prison. They'll tell you when to eat, how to eat, when to shit, when to shower, when to go to the yard. That's how it is in there. Oh, and guess what? It's worse in a woman's prison. Dirtier, it's nastier. There's more stuff going on in there that is going on in the men's facility. It's even worse. At least we have rules in population that we are not to touch each other in any way inappropriate. The women, they have no rules in prison. They're all out. And I know this because when I was in Logan, I was in Lincoln, they transferred me to Logan because they were putting all of the females in Lincoln. The females were in Logan at first. When I went to Logan and went into the cell, there was blood, dry blood on the walls, and sanitary towels on the floor. The nastiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And men don't get down like that. The one thing I did do was I went to school. I took advantage of that. A lot of people go in there and they don't take advantage. They burn their bridges and then they don't work on themselves. So when they come out, all they're doing is talking about, well, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I just don't want to go back to prison. But it's not about going back to prison. It's about understanding that you don't have to be there. You just have to focus on what you are supposed to do, which is coexist in a society in which you can get the things that you got coming, like a nice car, an apartment, things like that, right? You can't get that in jail. You can only get that out here. And I got those people that are coming at me now, coming in and out, and they're telling me, I just can't stop it. It's just been a cycle for me. I had a guy this morning telling me, I'm afraid to go back. And I'm like, what the hell are you afraid of? To go back? I mean, you should be thinking about where you're moving forward, not going backward. You're like 50-some years old. Yeah. Going into prison so many times deteriorates your intellect. Does anybody know what that means? Does anybody know? No? Do you know what intellect is? Intellect is the measurement of wisdom that you have on your brain. When you go into a place like prison, that stops developing. Not only it stops developing because there's no new information coming in, but what you have in there, it breaks away. Your intellect breaks away. And so you come out dumber than you went in. So imagine you go in at the age of 12, coming out at the age of 30, and you're stupider than you was when you went in. That's messed up. That's messed up. Imagine a 32-year-old stupid guy. What can he accomplish? What can he do out here? And I say that with all the respect to stupid people because I love them too. I went to school and got 2 associate's degrees while I was in there. I took many classes and I had to survive. I had to do what I had to do. I remember getting caught with gang literature. I had about 3 packets of gang literature. I get sent to segregation, to the hole, for 3 months. Imagine being 3 months behind a steel door with a small window like this, where they feed you through the window over here. You only come out once a week for a shower and once a week for the yard, and that's for 2 hours only. And imagine doing that for 3 months. Shit, imagine doing that for a year. Because it's plenty happening in there. Something clicked. Because of where I come from, because of how I was raised, something clicked and said, I need to get out of here and I need to stay out. And that's going to school helped me, taking classes helped me. Before I got out, I said, I got 4 goals. In order for me to integrate into society, and this is for men only, you have to figure out how women will do that, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I tell you this. For men, for men. In order for us to be successful members, integrated members of society, there are 4 things that we need to have. 4 things. Education is one. A career, not a job. A job is going to bring you minimum wage. A career that's going to bring you $30,000, $50,000, $80,000 a year. Job, education, establish a family. I knew that if I go in front of an employer to get a job and they see a wedding band, they will immediately assume that I am a responsible, committed person, and I will have more chances of getting a job than anybody else. Education, career, family. What's the last one? As a man. What's the last one? A house. Being a homeowner. If you're a homeowner, you're going to protect your house, which means you have to protect your block, which means you have to protect your community, which means everybody around you are going to be looking up to you for that. Those 4 things. Guys, I came out in 2002 in October 18, and luckily he helped me find a job right away. I learned computers in there. I was taking computer classes back in the early 1990s when computer systems were DOS. Does any of you know what DOS is? DOS is the operating system that came before what you see now. Anybody once seen one of those movies with all computers that is like a green screen and it just has letters and lines and all that stuff? So that's how the computers were back then. That's when I was learning computers. Damn, I feel old. So as soon as I came out, I was on parole. On parole, I got a bracelet. They tell me when to move, how to move, all of that. Nothing changed. Having that and these goals, 4 goals right here, I committed myself to doing what I had to do. And I started working for Parents United for Responsible Education. Then I started figuring out how to bring $1 in a nonprofit so fast, so easy, that I started thinking to myself, is it true what they say that with a background, you're not going to be able to find a job? Yeah, it's true. If you don't have nothing to show for it. I remember going to apply for a job as a housing counselor, and the executive director told me in Maywood, you were locked up. Why should I give you the job? Now, granted, I was going to be the token Hispanic there because I was the only bilingual guy, so I almost had the job. But he asked me that question, why you have a background? I could go hire somebody that doesn't have a background. And I told him, well, think about it like this. Right now, I'm going to school. I'm going for my bachelor's degree. That means that I can potentially change my major for you. Second of all, I don't come to you with all of this experience, but that's good because now you can train me and I can do it exactly how you want me to do it. As opposed to you hiring somebody who may have some background on it and then they want to do it their way, and then there's conflict. I knew right away that marketing myself with employers was going to be very important, and I started looking for those things that were going to enhance my marketability because I have an X on my back. So I started taking courses, I started taking trainings. I've been trained by HUD in homeless prevention, loss mitigation. I've been trained by Fannie Mae. I've been trained by a whole bunch of people out there. I got a whole bunch of training and all kinds of stuff. That's marketing for me. That's for me to be able to get a job. Remember, I'm fighting now. And I'm going to be fighting until the rest of my life because throughout this whole time, I got an X on my back. So all of you have an advantage over me right now. All of you. Because if you guys get your education, you'll have a better chance to find a job than I will. Because I still carry that X. That's your advantage right now. What's happening here is that we don't understand what is our place in this world, what is our place in this society. And it's very important that you understand that you are young. Young means you don't have all the information, so stop making stupid decisions. You don't have all the information. As smart as you think you are not. You will slip, and if you slip, no one's going to be there to catch you. Parents only have so much money. Buddies are not going to be there. You're sleeping on your own. Imagine at the age of 19 going inside the Department of Corrections and you have nobody that you know. Everybody's a stranger. Mommy's not there, Pops is not there, my cousin's not there, my brother's not there, my friends are not there, my girlfriend's not there, nobody's there. I'm by myself at the age of 19, entering into a maximum security adult institution, not knowing what's going to be happening. What was going to happen? Is it true what we hear in the movies? That people are raped? Is that going to happen tomorrow? That's how I was thinking. Am I going to get killed? Man, I remember walking down the gallery with a mattress, just fresh. Guy's in the cell right here, African American. He said, dude, what you be about? And I told him. And he said, oh, you ain't got to worry about us. You got to worry about your own. They're the ones that really can take your life. My own? Why would they want to take my life? Because there's rules. You have to follow them. And a lot of people cannot come to following rules. So I have to acclimate myself immediately so that I don't get my life taken away. Imagine you have to wake up every morning with boots on and put your thickest coat on 90, 100-degree weather because it's about to kick off in the joint. And when it kicks on, it's home. Everybody for themselves. You better be good at fighting and avoiding knives coming at you. You better be really good. Not only that, but the psychological trauma that you're putting upon yourself. After so many years being locked up, you can develop post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a psychological term that's used mostly for people that go to war. Some of the conditions in there is like one. And you do develop post-traumatic stress disorder. I remember until not too long ago that I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning having a nightmare that I'm locked up. That's part of the post-traumatic stress disorder. Barely now I'm having nice dreams where the police is around but I'm not in trouble. So I'm feeling good about that. I think I'm overcoming that now. Because now they're not trying to arrest me. They're just hanging with me. You know what I'm saying? That's how you see how it changes you, how it works. You are young and you need to know as much as you can about everything that you can right now. Instead of making decisions, inform yourself. Once you inform yourself, you'll be able to start making the right decisions.
The right decisions are going to lead you to this. You will become significant. What is significant? What does significant you ever think about when I say you are significant? Can you tell me? You don't know what that means? Do I need to prove that for you? I guess. Anybody significant? What does significant mean? Go ahead. Significant is good. Absolutely. In the most simplest terms, significant is good. Significant means that we need you. We need you. Because you are supposed to be the next leaders out there. Our next alderman, our next police officer, our next teacher, our next architect, doctor, lawyer. That's who you are supposed to be after this. That's why you're significant. Why? We need you. We need you to do these things because that's what a society is about. Everybody has their different talents to put together to coexist in an environment that's productive to all of us as a whole. Not just for me. A drug dealer just thinks about himself. It's about me, about me, about me, about me. It's about my money. It's about my turn. That's what drug dealer says. It's about me. It's not about you. He don't care about you. He detects you. He don't even want to see your face. That's what drug dealers are. The problem with that is when you start thinking about yourself and you're not thinking about others, the decisions that you're making may not be consistent with what's happening out here in society. Because you're not taking others into consideration. When you become significant, and you know this, you move on to the next stage. After you're significant, you become valuable. Valuable is such an important, such a high-ended thing in society. To be valuable is like the most of the most, like Bieber says. You're valuable because you have all the information that's available to make significant changes within yourself and your community, which means that everybody's going to be looking out for you to fix other things. They're going to be calling your name. Can you help us with this? Because you have the knowledge. You know how good that feels? I get calls all the time. I got a call today from my brother, or yesterday. Come and talk to these kids. Think about it. He could have called anybody else out there. But he called me to come and talk to you. We could have brought a whole bunch of people over here. But he saw a fit that I would be fitting for this group right here. Just like this morning, I was talking to 5 older ex-felons who just got released 3-4 weeks ago. At Roosevelt, we have a re-entry program. So when they come out of the joint, they can come and take life skill classes and eventually enroll at Roosevelt University. And I got asked to go talk to them. They could ask anybody else, but they asked me because I bring value to the conversation in some way or another, whatever they may see, whatever that may be. It doesn't matter to me. I just know I bring value. But guys and girls, once you become valuable, there's some responsibilities that come behind that. You have to pass on that information to the next generation. Because as we're speaking right now, you're building, and you're building, and you're going to start building. You're going to be building something in the world, in the community, in society. You're going to be building it in little pieces, and you're going to be building a castle. And if you don't transfer this information to the next leadership, they're going to destroy that castle. And why would you allow that to happen? Why would you build? It's like me building a Lego house, and you come and you kick it, and you destroy it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You need a doctor? You want to go to the doctor? Yeah? That's how it is. You're going to be pissed. I want you to understand that on the information piece, the way that it works is like this. Information is coming at you in pieces. Say this is me right here. This was the judge. This is your teacher. This is your parents. This is your friend. Everybody's giving you bits of information that's coming into your brain to be processed. If you don't have this right here, you only have this much information. But if you have this right here, then you have more. Which means that your ability to make decisions and create things is going to greatly increase and enhance because you have all of the pictures. Eventually, when you hit 25, when you hit 18, when you hit 32, it happened at the age of 27 for me. You're going to have the aha moment. And I want you to think about that because when it happens, you're going to be like, damn, what was his name? He was talking about that. That was so long ago. The aha moment is that moment in which you realize the power you carry inside to live a good life and to help others live a good life because you just can. You're able to. And there's nothing wrong with that. It feels great to do that. That's going to come once you build this nice picture based on all the information. That's going to be your portrait right there. Any questions so far? So I go through the system and I start learning a lot of stuff. I go and become a housing counselor, and then I become a program manager for workforce, and I have to learn this stuff, right? I have to learn funding sources, I have to learn how to run a nonprofit, how to run a program, how to interact with people, because we do get some people that are a little bit off the rack, a little bit crazy, and we have to be able to know how to help them too, because they're not exempt. They need to be helped as well. Everybody should get help, everybody. In one way or another, in whatever way, some help. There's nothing wrong with that. So, in 3 years, by 2005, and I got out in 2002, in 3 years, I had a family, bought a condo here in Cicero, Laramie. I was in social services, and I obtained my bachelor's degree while on parole. So when I get older guys telling me, oh, I can't do it, I can't go to school and work at the same time. Oh, I got a family, I got to focus on working, I cannot go to school. I'll be like, you stupid. Straight up, you stupid. Stupid as hell. Because I did, in 3 years, completed all of that while on parole. And you're going to tell me that you can't? All you're doing is giving me excuses. And since you're going to give me excuses, why don't you run along, continue your path, and let me help somebody who understands how significant and valuable they are, how powerful they are inside. Only then are you going to be able to listen, as opposed to doing all the jabbing that we always do, because we always jab. I mean, it is what it is. If we took the time to listen, things would be a little bit different for all of you. And I'm not telling you to stop doing anything. I didn't come over here to tell you to stop doing anything. I came over here to tell you how powerful you are. That's it. How much you can accomplish. That's it. Whatever you do after this, that's on you. But I do know that when you leave out of here, I would already have planted a seed inside of you. You don't know it. You don't see it. You're going to walk out, and you might get your struck walking out. I'm done. I finished my program, whatever. It's going to come to you. It's going to come to you at the most interesting times. And you're going to be like, oh, he left something in there. And I'm kind of liking that. And I'm just going to follow that path because I'm feeling comfortable. I'm feeling good. I don't get that feeling in my stomach like when I'm trying to do something wrong or I know that I may get in trouble. You know that feeling you get when you're trying to do something that you may get in trouble? Anybody gets that here? I get it. I get it. When I was doing something wrong, not only did I get the feeling here, but I needed to go to the bathroom immediately after that. That's gross. That's just gross. That's it. So I don't do it no more, and I don't have that feeling no more. Now I don't have to go to the bathroom. Right? So My world was I wanted to open a nonprofit. I wanted to open a nonprofit, a parent training center. I didn't get to open a nonprofit, but I did get to run one. I was the executive director of a shelter for homeless men, women, and children with a $1.2 million budget. Guys, I was in charge of $1.2 million. I was responsible for paying salaries, making sure my homeless people ate 3 times a day, they were being seen by a case manager, they were help with looking for employment, they were help with looking for housing, and I was in charge of all of that. That was my empire. Who would ever give such a responsibility to an ex-colleague? To a person who was accused of first-degree murder? Because it's not where you come from, it's about where you're going. And if you're showing those pieces, that you're making those steps to go in that direction, you're going to be given an opportunity. But you have to believe it. I've done a lot of hiring and firing. I've done a lot of firing. There was some awful people working for me at one point. And when I hire people, and I look at you and you give me your resume, and I'm like, do you have the passion? Do you really, really want to help people? I see you got a master's degree here, but you don't come across as a person who's very compassionate. I have to see it. I have to see it in you. Yes, you have to have credentials, but you also have to have the spirit, the will to want to help other people. For whatever reason, maybe this is my way of paying back. Maybe this is my way of saying, I know I messed up, but I'm making amends now because I'm helping thousands and thousands of people for the past 11, 13 years in making sure that they were no longer homeless and they have food on the table and clothing on their back and a roof over their head. Maybe that's the case, but you know what? That's fine. Because whatever the reason is, somebody's getting help, and that's all that matters. Why is it so important? Well, let me tell you like this. You get locked up, for example, you do 12 years, you do 13, 15, 20, 35. I was talking to a guy today that did 45 years in Jordan. This guy is like 60-something years old. And he's telling me, I got my Bible, and I'm just afraid to go back. Okay, so then just don't do anything to go back. Oh, well, you know how it is, life is tempting and temptations. And I said, you know what, go sing that song over there by the Temptations. I'm over here with the Isley Brothers. And if you were old enough, you would understand that and get a little laugh out of it, but you're too young. So, all of that to now. Executive director running a $1.2 million agency. And guess what my title is now? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Israel Vargas. I am the assistant provost at Roosevelt University. You know what a provost is? A provost is a vice president. And to make it to that right there was not easy. I hold the title, influence in the university, able to take those resources into the community and helping people who are in need. And I'm loving it. And you can do the same thing too. Yeah, you can do the same thing too. Because guess what, guys? Let me show you a little reality here. Right now, a GED or high school diploma is only going to bring you $19,000 a year entry level. Guys, girls, you're not going to be able to make it out here in $19,000. That's unacceptable. You're going to have to live with somebody. Somebody's going to have to feed you. You might even apply for Link or something. But why would you do that and restrict yourself to $160 of food stamps when you can just get paid and go to Tony's and rack it up at 200 and get you some nice ribs, why do I have to rely on Link? Link is for the needy. You don't look needy to me. You will be if you only got a GED or a high school diploma. $19,000 is not enough. Guys, I live by myself. I have a car payment. I have 2 kids. I have bills. Alone, by myself. My expenses on bills and everything like that. It's $31,000 a year. If I had a GED or high school diploma, could I live like that? No. I'll be applying for Section 8 because I wouldn't have nowhere to go. I'm probably asking my brother to let me move in because I don't know if he still holds resentment. I'm teasing. Guys, that's with a GED or high school diploma. If you get an associate's degree, you're talking about 23,000 entry level. Bachelor's, 28 entry level. Masters, 33 entry level. And I say entry level because we often don't think about the importance of doing something other than work. Guys, employers nowadays wants to know, what else have you done? What else are you doing, right? So when I go in to apply for a job, I'm bilingual. That's number 1, I'm bilingual. Everybody's looking for a bilingual person out there, everybody. Number 2, I have experience. But number 3, which is very important, my kids and I have gone to feed the homeless. We have spent Thanksgiving with homeless families, feeding them as a volunteer. We have done Christmas with homeless people. So I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I expose them to the realities of life so that they can understand. And I make sure that on my resume it says volunteer homeless shelter. Because when they see that type of stuff in the resume, they like that. You get hired right away. They want to see compassionate, responsible people. So right now you're like, oh, it's party, I got homework, whatever. Look, I'm not asking you to go to a shelter every day. I'm not even asking you to go to a shelter every 6 months. I'm asking you once a year for a couple of hours, do something selfless. Something not for you, but for somebody else. That's called investment. When you invest in yourself, you have a high return of investment coming back at you. And that's going to come in a means of a salary. This is what education is like nowadays. Now, I have a master's degree in training and development. I'm not getting paid this. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm getting paid, but I'm going to give you a closer look of what I'm getting paid. That's approximate to where I'm at, $65,000. I'm about to buy a house because I lost the condo. I'm about to buy a house by myself. I don't need nobody's credit. I don't need nobody. I'm buying a house by myself. Because I'm earning around this much, because I have a master's degree, because I've done things the right way, and I continue to come out and help people so God can bless me, continue to bless me, my kids and my family, and everybody else. And all of this is yours. All of this is yours. All you have to do is put the investment in there. All you have to do is really understand the importance that you bring to this world and capitalize it so that you can reap the benefits in the future. I don't know how many times after this you're going to have somebody in front of you talking to you about these life events. I really don't. I hope that there will be many more coming before you, because if many more come before you, that means that you never ended up in prison. You were able to stay out and you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. That makes sense? Does it make sense with everybody? Any questions? Cool? Alright. Every time you meet up with somebody, ask for a business card. Build your network. Those are the people that are gonna help you out. I had a gentleman pay for my education, $60,000, a rich guy, because he became my mentor. Imagine that. Just by knowing somebody, I get $60,000 towards my college education. So stop being antisocial and get to know people. Get to know the right people. The universe is based on energy. Whatever energy you put out there, that's what you're gonna get back. If you're not feeling right today, things may not go exactly the way you want it to because you're not feeling right. But if you feel good about yourself, you're gonna attract all of these positive things around you, and things are gonna start working the way you want it to work. As long as it's positive, as long as it's good. If it's negative, I'm sorry guys, pop your ass. Alright? Let me show you a quick video. And offhand, I want to thank you for allowing me to come here. Of course, you didn't have much choice, but I hope that I was helpful in some way and that you guys can take a lot from this in the future, okay? So thank you so much.